This book, this series absolutely ruined my life. The amount of tears I shed. Wow, I've just been crying all year. I've been crying literally all year. Class is in session. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for being here and listening to me yap. My voice can be insufferable sometimes, so like that's a feat in and of itself. I am so excited for today's YouTube video. And before you come for me, okay, we are going through my favorite books from each month so far this year. And I know what you're thinking, Marianna, the year isn't over. I know. I already know what my favorite book for October is. Nothing is going to top that, so that's fine. So we're just missing November and December. And listen, you'll find out. I'll let you know somehow what my favorite books from November and December are. But the thing about me is when I get an idea in my head of what I want to do, I have to do it like then and there, or else it's never going to get done. Like I could be like, yeah, it's a great end of the year YouTube video. I probably won't do it if I wait too long. So you know what? We're doing it now. First, we need a little beverage. I'm having a Dr. Pepper Zero, strawberries and cream. This is the best flavor. Oh my God. The fuck was that? Do I have the hiccups? I was prepared. I wrote down in advance my favorite books from each month, so that's why I'll be looking at my phone, but I will put all of the books on the screen for you guys. At first, I thought this was gonna be really hard, but then I just realized like each month, certain books just completely stood out. Even though I'd have like multiple like 5 stars in a month, there were ones that I'm just like, nothing can compete with that. So do you guys want me to do like my least favorite books from each month? I could do that too. Not right now. January is gonna be really obvious. Okay, for January, we have Onyx Storm. Honestly, I read so many, was this my favorite read of, no, it would be tied with another book that I'm going to be going through in terms of my favorite reads of the year. I would not be able to pick between these two. This is the 3rd book in the Empyrean series. Listen, I knew when this was getting released at the beginning of the year that it was going to put me into the worst reading slump because it was going to be so hard for anything to compare. And this ruined my life. This was incredible. 7, 8 stars. Say what you want to say about Fourth Wing. I simply don't care. I love that series. It is probably my favorite romantasy series, that and Throne of Glass for sure. Zayden Ryerson, #1 bookman. Violet, Zayden and Violet, how Onyx Storm plot progressed and just the agony and the romance, every single thing about it was perfection to me. That ending haunts my life every single day I think about it. Someone just made, I'll put it.
Fall. I love you. Fall in love.
No, wait.
I came across this yesterday, this sound, and I just immediately started crying. Like I had to rid my For You page of Zayden and Violet edits because I just could not keep crying. But every now and then I'll go back into a hole and I'll spiral. But not a day goes by where I don't think about this book. I am empty. I am terrified for what's to come. There's still 2 books left in the series. We've got a while until the next book, and I'm just so scared. I loved everything about this. I loved Violet's character growth. I loved her relationship with Zayden. I loved all the side characters. I loved the politics, the plot twist, yeah. Now that book put me in the biggest romantasy reading slump of my life. I'm still in a romantasy reading slump. Like I'm still in it. The romantasy genre has not been hitting at all for me this year really, except for a few exceptions. So the next few books, honestly, none of them are romantasy. But in February, oh my God, we read the Windy City series. So this is Mile High, Caught Up, Play Along. Mile High, Right Move, Caught Up, Play Along, and Rewind It Back. Rewind It Back wasn't out yet in February when I read this, but so my favorite book from that series, which was also my favorite read of the month, was Caught Up. The Windy City series is my favorite sports romance series. Like nothing will top it at all. Every single book except for Mile High was 5 stars. Caught Up is a 6-star contemporary romance. This is everything to me. These couples, this found family, the romances, the men, and in Caught Up it is single dad nanny. Single dad nanny is a trope that I love when done right in romance books. And Daddy Kai, Malachi Rhodes, the way that man shot up into my top fictional men list, that man lives in my head rent free. Like Liz Tom 40, the way she writes, that man is perfect. He's a grumpy baseball player, protective daddy, closed off, guarded, has thigh tattoos, wears glasses. Him and Miller, this book made me sob my eyes out. So did The Right Move. Actually, a lot of these made me cry. This is what I want from contemporary romance book. They are so deep and you feel the connection so viscerally. The characters have so much depth, like, ugh. And then I also loved Miller. She's such a baddie. Like, I have a crush on her too. Her banter with Kai and just, oh my God, the found family in this series is everything to me. I love all these books, but something about Kai and Miller, like, and I also just think like the single dad nanny trope and, like I love them so much. It actually makes me sick. I cannot wait to reread this series. This is a series I will reread over and over and over again. If you like sports romance or if like you like contemporary romance, if you read this, like the way I was like, no, I cannot. So yeah, the mouth on that man. Okay, and then in March, went back to devastation. Okay, we read Sunrise on the Reaping. This is a Hunger Games novel. It's Haymitch's story. Next to Catching Fire, which is my favorite Hunger Games book, this was such a close second. This exceeded any and all of my expectations. Haymitch, I was inconsolable. Like, this book actually left me feeling sick to my stomach. I remember I was just on my kitchen floor. I'm gonna see if I could get the picture from Jack. I was because he took a picture of me. I was on my kitchen floor after I was crying and I was just sitting there staring. I couldn't even, like, it was so heartbreaking, but it was also incredible. Like, all of the little Easter eggs and the plot reveals about characters from like the original Hunger Games and like everything that we learned and everything that like I always assumed was canon. And then it was like, this is actually, no, that movie, the Hunger Games franchise, like they are the only, whoever their casting directors are the only people I trust with book to film adaptations. They put their heart and soul into those. I am so excited for that movie, but it's going to actually put me into an early grave. Oh my God, this book. Oh my God. Hey, so it's future me. I am just finalizing my edits. It's Thursday, this goes up tomorrow, and I realized I completely forgot to do April. So I am now sitting here and filming and I'm like, wait, what was my favorite book in April? April was an interesting month because I read so many books that I really like loved, but I didn't have any 5 stars. I had a bunch of 4.5 stars. So I'm like trying to pick, I'm like, okay, Birthday Girl I loved. I read Face Off. I started the DC Star series, but then I'm like, you know what? I have to put in Fearless by Lauren Roberts because I gave this 4.5 stars. That was my favorite book in the Powerless series. I liked Powerless. I gave it 4 stars. It's like, it's not, you're either gonna love it or hate it. It's not original. It is like very tropey. Like it's not, I totally understand why people hate that series, but like I giggled and kicked my feet and had fun. Reckless, I hated. So I was even like hesitant to read Fearless, but I'm so happy I did because it was the best, but like it was significantly better than all of the books. Like plot-wise, character-wise, the endings were insane. Like I cried. I was not expecting to cry. And then Kai Azar. I mean, it's YA romantasy, super tropey, but like if you want to giggle, kick your feet and have a good time, and like if it's the right series at the right time for you, but it's not gonna be for everyone. But I did love Fearless. So that was April. I also loved Face Off. Like I read the DC, I'm gonna talk more about my favorite book in the DC Star series because I mentioned that, but I also started the DC Star series this month, which is like one of my favorite hockey romance series. So mentioning that too, because I also loved that. And then I loved Birthday Girl, which was also 4.5 stars. This was Ex-Boyfriend's Daddy. Ex-Boyfriend's Daddy, Pike Lawson. Ex-Boyfriend's Dad trope is gonna get me every single time. So I loved all of those. I think I couldn't just pick one because I didn't have one that like stood out that was like, this was like 5-6 stars, life-changing. April was a weird month. Anyways, back to it. And then in May, this is gonna come as a surprise to absolutely no one, Releasing 10. The most traumatizing book I've read in my life. infinity stars. If you've seen, I have a whole reading vlog. Larry came to visit me. We did this. I always knew Lizzie was going to be my favorite. I've always had a soft spot for her. It follows Lizzie and Huey. So this is a part of the Boys of Tommen series. If you haven't read that, you absolutely must. It is devastating. It is heartbreaking. And Releasing 10 navigates the most difficult to read topics that are very real and very much so happen to people. And so definitely check your triggers, because this is not going to be a story that everyone can read, because it really, really is tough. It navigates childhood sexual assault and abuse. Lizzie has bipolar disorder and she goes into manic episodes, and it navigates her mental health so much and what she experiences and goes through, navigates grief. And Lizzie and Huey's relationship will gut you at the seams. Like, their romance, their relationship is the most agonizing to me that I've ever read. Like, I also think about them all the time. It's how Huey is with Lizzie too. Like, as someone who was just recently diagnosed with bipolar disorder too, I've always felt very connected to Lizzie, who has also experienced some similar situations. I felt like even though it was really hard for me to read, it is important to showcase the reality of what those circumstances can do to you. And that's also another one of my favorite series ever. And the found family and the characters in that world, being back there, like, made me so happy, but also it hurts so much. Like, this is the book I've cried the most to ever. It was like every chapter I think I cried. Lizzie and Huey are gonna have 2 more books, so like the ending will actually gut you like a fish. This is it's a really, like, I can't think about it too deeply because I do spiral. Like, this sent me into a huge, like, just, I was just having such a hard time. I, like, for a whole month, it was really hard for me to go a day without, like, crying, which sounds crazy, but it hit so close to home, and I felt so much for both of them and hurt so much for both of them. This series, like, really navigates difficult topics, but it is so worth the read. Oh, I love it so much. That's all I'm gonna say, because I don't want to start crying again. Lizzie's also another one of those characters that is super complex, has a lot of layers, and she's not going to be for everyone. However, her story needed to be told and deserved to be told, and I will protect her with every fiber of my being. Okay, and then June, since I make the rules, I didn't want to choose, so I have 2. First, we have Hat-Trick by Chelsea Curto. This is a part of the DC Star series, which is a hockey romance series. This is my favorite hockey romance series. Oh my God, they're interconnected standalones. I am obsessed with this series. This series make you giggle, kick your feet, but also like hit you really hard emotionally. This is absolutely my favorite book in the series. I love how Chelsea writes like badass, confident, sure of themselves women in male dominated fields. Like, it is just, and like the way she writes female friendships, and just, it makes me feel, it's like very empowering how she writes them. And she doesn't give women these like classic traditional like happy endings that you expect, which I also love. And Hat-Trick, oh my goodness. Hat-Trick follows Riley and Lexi, and Riley is a hockey player and she is the athletic trainer. And in the very beginning, so this isn't a spoiler, but Riley gets hit by a car and he is an amputee. He loses one of his legs. Oh my God, this hit me so hard emotionally. You really navigate his grief journey and his mental mental health representation in this was so well done. You navigate that and what he's going through and how he heals and how he starts to accept himself and his new body. The disability representation is amazing. And Lexi is his trainer, but she helps rehab him. Like, her main goal is like, I'm gonna get you to skate again. Oh my God, the 2 of them. He's been like in love with her forever. And he's like the shy, quiet, nerdy one with the filthiest mouth. His mouth actually did things to me that were illegal. I love the way she writes spice, but I also love the way she writes romances, because you still do feel that like soul deep connection. And Lexi and Riley, their relationship, how she like never gave up on him, and she has her walls up. She's very, very guarded, and he was so patient with her. Like, he's the definition of love is patient, love is kind, and he's a little freak. Like, and also the found family in this. Love, 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 love. Next, we have for this month also Hockey Romance, Rewind It Back, which is a part of the Windy City series. This followed Rio and Hallie. And oh my God, this also made me sob because it was the last book in the series. And I'm so sad that it's over because this found family, like they just pull at your heartstrings, like I said. And this is second chance romance. I love second chance romance when it's done right. And they haven't seen each other for 6 years. And then she moves in across the street from him and ends up being his interior designer. And like their relationship, like they're friends to lovers, and then it becomes second chance. And oh, this man, I can't. So yeah, those are my 2 favorites from that month. And then we finally have a romantasy for my favorite in July, which was no surprise to me because this was City of Smoke and Brimstone. This was a new release, the 4th book in the House of Devil series. The first book is City of Gods and Monsters, one of my favorite romantasy series. This is urban fantasy romance. He's in my top 5 book boyfriends, Darian Castle. This was one of my most anticipated reads of the year, and it was such an easy 5-star, everything about it. Like, this is dark urban fantasy romance, multi-POV. There's so much action nonstop, like found family. Loren and Darian, their romance will rip you apart. And this book was just, it's the 4th book in the series, so I don't want to spoil anything. But it was just, my heart rate was up the entire time. Like there was not a single moment of peace. I think there's gonna be 2 more books left in the series. And it was just, it was so perfect. None of her books fall victim to like filler book syndrome. Oh, I loved it. Darian, the man that he is, the way he gets on his knees for her. So going back to the first book, if you don't know anything about this series, like I said, it's urban fantasy romance. And in the very beginning, Loren, she's a human and she lives in this world with all these magical creatures and beings. There's angels, there's demons, there's vampires, there's werewolves. Are there vampires? Wait, why can't I remember that right now? There's witches. And her friend, Loren's best friend, gets taken and she goes missing in the very beginning. And she gets the help of Darian Castle, who is a dark slayer, which are magical bounty hunters. And he's a part of the most like famous dark slaying circle. And he literally like takes out demons. And this man is so fine. This is one of the slowest slow burns. And he helps her find her friend, but he also acts as her bodyguard because they want Loren. Like people want Loren, so she's also in danger. And it's just all of the characters, the found family. It becomes so much more than you could ever possibly imagine, but I love this series. Okay, then in August, we're getting to the book where I said is tied with Onyx Storm in terms of like my favorite reads of the year. Like I could not pick between the 2. If you tried, don't make me. Like I can't. But in August, we read one of my new favorite series ever. Like this is up there with Throne of Glass, like in terms of nothing can touch it. The Red Rising series. This is also wow, I have been through it mentally with books. I can't even, like I read some of my favorite books ever this year and the trauma. Red Rising is just that series for me that like it won't leave my head. Yesterday, I started breaking down crying about it. Darrow, the MMC in this, he is my new favorite protagonist ever. And so my favorite book in the series, which was my favorite book of the month, was Lightbringer, which is the most recent book that came out. There's still one more book to come out. This book, this series absolutely ruined my life. This book ruined my life in ways I can't even fucking explain. I am so emotionally invested in this series, these characters, and this is sci-fi. I don't usually read sci-fi, and like I can't even handle how incredible this is. Pierce Brown's writing, how he writes action scenes and battle scenes, the world he creates, all of his characters, the villains that he writes, his very, very subplots of romance. Like people are like, is there romance in this series? Romance is a constant theme throughout the whole series. And it's not like romance in the sense of like, it's not a romance, but the romantic relationships are so deep, and like how Darrow loves so deeply, and the things he's like Mustang and Darrow are one of my favorite fictional couples literally ever. They haunt me in ways that make me feel ill. And I'll link the video here for you. In one of my wrap-ups, I go into detail about like what Red Rising is about. And if you're curious about it and want to know more, and I do that without any spoilers, so you can go watch that if you want. Bailey's currently reading it right now, and it's making me so happy because I can talk about this series. I could literally sit down and talk to a wall about this series. Like I feel so deeply and so passionately about it. It is art. Like it is perfect, but this is not, if this is not like happy. All I know is pain and suffering. Like Pierce Brown likes to hurt us. Nobody is safe. The stakes are so high. It's actually not even, Yeah. The amount of tears I shed. Wow, I've just been crying all year. I've been crying literally all year. Oh, and then in September, we read our first Brandon Sanderson series, and it was the Mistborn trilogy. So this is high fantasy. I have been so intimidated by Brandon Sanderson for so long. I am so happy I finally read this. This was incredible. And Hero of Ages, which is the third book in the trilogy, was my favorite read of the month. I have one that I actually, now that I think about it, no, there's another one I'm going to say that's tied with it. That's completely different. So I'm going to mention the two because I don't want to choose. This trilogy, oh my God. Oh, it was so good. And the way everything came together, Brandon Sanderson is just a master of his craft. The worlds he builds, the magic systems he writes, like he's very character driven in terms of his stories. The pacing is slower, but it's not slow pacing doesn't mean bad book. Like it's perfect. It's exactly how it should be. And this series and all of his series, I'm finding, you will never fully know what's going on until it's revealed. And what I mean by that is like you have so many questions the whole time, and then all of a sudden things will come together and just smack you in the face in the most insane ways. Like the biggest plot twists. Again, stakes are so high. I am in agony. Okay. This also, the magic system is alchemy. So in this world, you can swallow different metals and use each metal for like a different power. So whether that's like super strength or like being able to run super fast, being able to alter people's emotions. And if you can manipulate every metal, you're called a Mistborn. And Vin, our FMC, she is a Mistborn. She's also a little street thief. Okay. And in the very beginning, she meets Kelsier, and Kelsier is like, hey, I'm going to use you. You're going to join my team of just like misfits, and we're going to take down the emperor, and we're also going to rob him. So let's go. And he teaches her how to use her magic. And like in this world, the sun is red. Like there's no plants or greenery. The emperor has been ruling for thousands of years, and he's super corrupt. And you have our group called the Ska, and they're enslaved. And then you have the noblemen, and it's just, it's so good. And there's also a really good romance in this as well. Vin and Elend, I love them. The characters, oh, so good. So good. So good. And how it just, this ending haunts my life. Like, haunts me. Oh my God. No. This also had me screaming, crying, throwing up. Guys, like, and not just tearing up, like hyperventilating. The other book that I didn't want to choose between was Wild Reverence, which is a standalone by Rebecca Ross. This is romantic fantasy. Oh my God, the romance in this also just so poetic, so perfect. Okay. Oh, the yearning and the longing and the pining. This is everything I want from a romance. Okay. So our FMC, she is a goddess, and she was born of like rival god families, and she has messenger magic, so she can travel between worlds. And in this world, like the gods are super corrupt and hungry for power, and she's kind of in the middle of it. Vincent, our MMC, oh my God, this man, the way he yearns, like if you want true yearning and pining and longing and agony, oh my God. Okay, she meets Vincent when they're younger in his dreams, and like they get separated for reasons that I don't want to say. I don't want to spoil anything, but they find their way back to each other like after years, and she ends up getting into a marriage of convenience with him to help him win a war, but time and space and circumstance is constantly keeping them away from each other. They're constantly getting torn apart, and it's so good. It is so good. This is the type of love, like he waits years for her, and I highlight every word that came out of his mouth. I was highlighting, like it was sheer poetry. I love Rebecca Ross's writing. This is the prequel to Divine Rivals, which I also love, and you don't have to read Divine Rivals first. Oh my God, I love this. Okay, and then for October, again, 100% confidence, even though October is not over yet. I don't care. Alchemized. I just posted my reading vlog. That is, again, agony. The amount of suffering. Okay, and no, a lot of people asked if I read Manacled first. No, I didn't read Manacled first. I wanted to go in this with a completely open mind, and I'm so happy I did. This is a dark fantasy with a very painful, traumatic, tragic love story throughout the whole book. Cain and Elena will ruin you in ways you didn't even know were possible. So they're in the middle of war, and how Senlin Yu depicts wartime and the really tragic, horrifying events that go on that are very difficult to read, very uncomfortable. They do it so well. And they're also in the middle of a very corrupt government. And the parallels between what's going on in the government in this book and the real world, immaculate. There's also alchemy-based magic in this, which I love. And whatever metal you resonate with kind of determines how much power you have in this society, the system of government. So if you resonate with gold, it's considered the purest. So the Holdfasts are the family that resonates with gold. So they've been ruling for years and years and years. Cain's family, they resonate with iron, and they're like, hey, like, you know what makes gold so special? Like, there are things we could do as well. Like, and it starts this huge war. There's also necromancers, and the Holdfasts hate necromancy. They think it's like an abomination. And the Holdfasts use their religion, like this purity basis, to manipulate and further marginalize women and minority groups. And it's just, and then the romance, I don't want to say anything about the romance between Cain and Elena because I don't want to spoil anything, but they will put you 10 feet under. Oh, it's just so, there's so many layers. It's so deep, but like, oh, it was so good. It was so good. I'm like trying to predict what I think my favorite reads of November and December are going to be. And it really could be anything because I'm not good at sticking to a TBR. But Dawn of Chaos and Fury is coming out in November, which is the final book in the Legacy series, dark fantasy romance, one of my favorite fantasy romance series, God tier. I think that's going to be my favorite. I'm so excited. And then in December, I don't know, are there any December book releases? December could literally be anything. So that was fun. Wow, the theme of this year was just pain and suffering for me. I read some of my favorite books of all time. But that to be said, like, I still went through a period from like February to July where I was, even though there were a few really good books in between, I was slumping hard. I feel like next year is gonna be awful. But that's it. I'm gonna go be horizontal. I'm gonna go have a little snack, a sweet treat, and you should too. Just like curl up and read a book all weekend. Ignore the outside world because simply nothing else matters. That's all.